What's going on, guys? In case you're wondering why I'm wearing the camouflage hat, I'm hiding from the YouTube commissars. See how long I last, hey? So I found this article today, and it's been about a week or so since I've been doing any videos. Actually, more than that, almost 2 weeks. I've been moving. I've had a lot of stuff on my plate. I still got crap in the back that I need to sort out, but I'll get to that. This is what I want to do today. And I'm just going to make sure that I turn off these notifications so I don't get bothered during this stream. Welcome to all of you. Now, the article I want to talk about today is called, Does the Man Cave Still Have a Place in 2019? I think you all know the answer to that, and so do I. The answer is yes, for those of you who weren't sure. But let's hear the opinion of this femtard on what's going on. Man caves have been around in one form or another since the beginning of time, but in 2019 is a private, men-only space in the home doing more harm than good. So to any of you guys who do or who have ever lived with a woman previously, tell me, have you had a man-only space? Have you had a man-only space in a house where every single room has female influence? Because guys, we know that when we try and cohabit with a female, right, with a woman, with a partner, with a wife, whatever the case may be, we don't get a man-only space at all. The whole house is female influenced, and especially, I mean, typically they'll have their own space. So, for example, you need to actually ask to set, you don't need to, but to avoid conflict. There's certain areas in the house, say for example, the kitchen or the bathroom, you actually need to ask them where stuff goes so that they won't get upset at you for putting it in the wrong place. I know all of you guys have been through that at least once. When men and women are both working and contributing to the household at a level more equal than ever before, the man cave has the ability to impact relationships and put a strain on communication. So, do they still have a place in our homes and our lives? This person has clearly never had to deal with not having any place in the home that they can basically say we have control over, right? She's never had the situation where she's had no control. You know what? I bet you she's been in a relationship with a boyfriend who had a man cave and was like, this is my space. You don't touch it. You don't hang shit up on the walls. You don't put those fucking bullshit live, laugh, love signs up. You know, I don't want any fucking potpourri, any reed diffusers. All right. I don't want a fucking cute little doormat. Like, if I want shit to be all over my floor and not on the mat, then I'm not going to put a mat in there to begin with. Right. Right. If any of you guys have ever had your own space in a house, you know that they try to invade. It's not even a conscious thing, right? It's just how it works. The only way you can have your own space that is totally untouched by the female influence is if you don't live with a female, right? No disrespect to any of you who do, but just so you know, right? Anyway, Hadley Keller from House Beautiful recently wrote, oh, she's a spastic. Here we go. At its best, laughably immature, and at its worst, glaringly sexist, the man cave is the isolated room of the house born of the idea that, what exactly? Yeah, you're just mad that you can't control it, woman. A man can only relax in a room full of rich mahogany and leather-bound books? I'm sorry. I didn't know that the only... Like, did she date Will Ferrell while he was filming Anchorman or something? Because it sounds like she's pretty mad about that one line in the movie that was clearly parody. Right? This is how delusional these people are. They think movies are real life. They think something on the TV is an accurate reflection of real life. But it's not. You guys know this. A man has no opinions, input, or thought whatsoever on how the rest of his house looks, let alone functions. Yeah, we actually don't get, we get opinion, but if that opinion doesn't align with yours, then it doesn't go down too well. Input, yeah, we get input, whether that's taken on board or not, Only nobody knows until it gets taken on board, right? So if we give an input on something and the female partner that we're living with doesn't like that input, they're just going to do what they want anyway, because that's how it works. And if they don't do what they want and they do what we want to try and appease us, then eventually they're going to resent that we got things our way. All right? Or thought whatsoever. Yeah, of course we get thought on it. Doesn't mean we get a say. Doesn't mean that if things go our way, it's going to be liked and that it's not going to cause us headaches. And I'd have to admit, and this chick who wrote the article now says, and I'd have to admit she has a point. To a degree, the man cave supports the expired ideology. I'm sorry, I didn't know that having a fucking man cave was an ideology. Oh, I know what is an ideology though. Feminism. One of the most retarded things that a person could possibly think of. Like, the first feminists seriously must have had no concept of how the world really works. They must, like, okay, sure, there was maybe some inequalities, whatever, right? They're sorted now. But you guys still got feminists out there screeching, patriarchy, gender inequality. No. Take fucking responsibility for your own lives. Seriously. E-Rock, thank you for that $24.99 donation, brother. Says, oh, hell yes, my whole house is my man cave. It's bliss. Yeah, it is, E-Rock. Yeah, it is. I'm glad you enjoy it, man. Keep enjoying it. Keep it that way. The expired ideology that a man needs his own space where he shall not be disturbed. Doing only things that men should do. Like, these women, I wish they could spend one day. Just one day, right? Like, I'm not even 2 days, not even a day and a half. Just one day as a man. Right? And then tell me if we need our own space or not. This can't be a positive thing when it comes to sharing and openness within a household. Sharing and openness equals a woman has to be involved in every single room in the house. They have to have everything their way, and we don't get a say in the matter if they don't like it, right? That's what sharing and openness means to this woman. Still, in many households, the man cave is a place that happily exists. Yes, happily exists. And there are so many women, I can tell you, that are very happy that their man has a man cave. I can tell you personally, right? My mom and my dad, they're still together after however many years of marriage, right? I think they've been married for like 40 something years now. And my dad's like, sure, just go, like, do your thing, right? And he's like, yep, no worries. I'm off to the gym. I'm going to go get juice. I'm going to go grab a pad thai. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down, take the dogs for a walk. My mom relishes the time that she doesn't have my dad in her hair. And guess what? My dad doesn't have a man cave, right? So his man cave is anywhere that's not inside the whole entire house. He bought the damn house. Right? This is kind of my point. And I love my mum and dad to death. And you know what? And that dynamic works for them. Okay, that dynamic works for them. My dad is an outdoors guy. He loves being outside. He loves going for walks. He used to love playing golf. He loves swimming. He loves just getting out of the house and being active. Right? And in his 70s, it served him very well health-wise. Sure, they might work perfectly. So to basically finish off on that point, yes. A man cave, whether it's a room in a house that the woman doesn't go and that the man doesn't take stuff out of, it does happily exist. And if the man cave is outside of the house and that works for the male and the female in the relationship, yes, it happily exists. So I don't know why these people are complaining about things happily existing, or maybe happiness just isn't something they get to experience very often, being feminists and all. Sure, they might work perfectly fine for some people, whether it be for hobbies, gaming, or simply a place to store the framed and signed Premiership jumper from 1995. Those are three perfectly good cases for a man cave, right? Because our partner's going to go, oh, when are you going to replace that signed jersey on the wall with a photo of a fucking flower? You know, when are you going to stop doing woodwork in the kitchen, right? Just go into your man cave, right? Like that's the whole point. Like, that's why we have them, to do the shit that you don't want us to do in the rest of the house. For God's sakes. Perhaps both parties have a private space to call their own and are contributing equally to household chores. The private space is anywhere we get told to get the fuck out of. Like, if you don't want us in a space, fine, we'll go somewhere else. I mean, and that can be your space because you probably designed it and you probably chose the furniture and you probably decided where it was going to be. For other households, the separate nature of the man cave has an endless list of negative effects. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Something relationship coach and psychologist and cuckold James Anderson experiences through his work with couples. The couples I've seen who have issues because of this, their problems mostly come from an aspect of control that's never healthy. Yeah. Let me explain to you the aspect of control that's never healthy, right? It's not healthy because the woman doesn't like the man having control over his own space in the house, even if he paid for the damn house. That's why there's control issues, because the woman can't control it. That's the only aspect of control that's never healthy, because, you know, a woman not liking something to a psychologist these days is something that's not healthy, right? It's not healthy. It's not good for women's health. Well, I don't give a fuck if me having my own space in the damn house that I paid for is not healthy for your feelings. Maybe, just maybe, you should shift your mindset. Maybe, just maybe, right? Like, if you want to have control over the man cave, then you give me control over half of the rest of the stuff in the house my way. If you're not going to do that, I'm sorry, I get the fucking man cave. That's my spot. Right? I'm the Sheldon motherfucking Cooper of this house, and that's my spot. You don't invade the spot. You don't sit in the spot. You don't change the spot. That's my spot. Marriage and long-term relationships are a partnership between two people, and the home they create together is supposed to be based on mutual respect and, by extension, mutually shared tastes. Oh, mutually shared tastes. So we have to share the tastes of our female partner. We have to share the taste of, we have to be like, oh, you know what, babe? I really love that fucking lily flower doily that you put on the kitchen table also. I really love that live, laugh, love sign that you have placed up on the mantelpiece. I love that also. That's my shared taste with you. I really love those pink bed sheets that you chose for our room. I share that taste with you. Now, does that sound like bullshit or what to you? You know what I mean? Like, us guys do so much compromise when it comes to a female deciding what they want in the house. If we had our way, man, that place would look like an industrial warehouse with cool shit everywhere. But we don't get it our way without conflict. And that's the point. This is why so many relationships are failing. Because when men let it go for so long, right, we're so tolerant for so long of what the other side wants. And then when we finally start to resent that, right, because we have an expectation that we get heard too in our own damn house, right? When we start to say, we would actually like to have some input into this household. I, as a man, I want a black fucking washing machine, not that white one, right? I want this in this place, right? I want a construction themed clock up on my wall, not one with kitty cats and flowers and, you know, unicorns as the little markers for each hour. You women have got no idea of the type of conflict that we have to dodge every day with you. Got no idea. Right? And I'm not, and I get it. I get where you're coming from, right? I get it. But that's not always the way we come from. Where's the fucking compromise? There's a reason. There is a reason why you guys are initiating the majority of divorces. Because we're only going to tolerate you having your own way all the time so much. There comes a point at which we're like, well, what about me? What about numero uno? What about the one person that's going to be here for me when you're not, if you're not? So men, we really need to start respecting ourselves more. A lot of you do, and kudos for that. But to those of us who are not respecting ourselves the way we should, to those of us who are letting our partners walk all over us, right? To those of us, and I say us as a brotherhood of men, right? Because everyone's got different circumstances. To those of us who have had enough, it's time to say no, and it's time to start respecting ourselves again. And it's time to have a plan in place for that more than 50% likely chance that at some stage they're going to leave us. It's time to have that plan in place. Make sure you have money aside. Make sure they don't know about the money aside. Right? Make sure that you have an email address that's not on your phone, that you can log into from your computer, that you only use from an incognito browser. Like, I know this stuff might sound sneaky. I know this stuff might sound underhanded. But what happens if the worst happens? Because if there's full transparency over everything that you have, that's what's going to be taken from you by the courts when it comes separation time. And it's not fair, it's not just, but it is the way it is. And you need to work with the tools you've been given, with the knowledge that you have. The idea that men are deserving of a relaxing timeout and a private space in which to do it, and women, hang on, the idea that men are deserving of a relaxing timeout and women aren't is problematic. Yeah, sure, it's problematic. You can have as much time out as you want. All you gotta do is say, I want some time out, and we'll give it to you. But that's not enough. You gotta take our man cave. That's not how it's gonna go down for us. Especially not the people watching this channel. It is derived from the notion that the home and all the work within it is entirely the woman's domain. Yeah, look, I know there's some households where the woman does all the work. And it's usually because the guy has come from a household where the women did all the work. That's more of a parenting and more of a cultural thing than anything else. That isn't a patriarchy. It's just traditionalism, right? Traditionalism doesn't typically work and keep everyone happy in the current day and age. It's just not how it works, right? Let me get into this. When it comes to an equally sharing household duties, a 2018 study, The Household Income and Labour Dynamics in Australia, conducted by Melbourne Institute. Well, there's half your problem. The study was conducted by people in Melbourne who are a bunch of completely cucked left-wing commies that just want feminism to rule the world. So I don't put too much weight on this bias. Reveals that there's still a long way to go when it comes to household inequality. The study reported that attitudes towards traditional gender roles in the home had become less traditional over time. Gee, you think? But men continue to have more traditional attitudes around gender roles than women. Considering there is a long way to go still, and there are still attitudes that need to be shifted, is giving men a private area of the home to retreat to after a long day of work, when women have also most likely been working, your choice, by the way, ladies, rather than sharing, contributing, and being an equal part of the household, a sentiment we should be encouraging in 2019. So look, I get it, right? If a dude's living in a house that is owned by his female partner, I get it, right? Fair enough. You don't have a right to a man cave. Yeah, it'd be nice. Yes, it would probably be best for your relationship, but you don't have a right to that because that's not the house that you bought. You didn't pay for that. You didn't earn it. It's not your place to say. However, if you're a man that did buy his own house, that did provide the roof over your partner's head, and that partner says, you don't have a right to a man cave, get the fuck out of here. Leave my house now, is what you should be saying. Anderson says no, the man cave has to go, if not for anyone's sake, but men's. What? It's got to go for our sake? Are you serious? It's there for our sake. It's not going for our sake. This is the kind of crap the media feeds us to try and make us subservient to our female overlords. It's not going down like that, feminists. We have woken up. We know what's going on now. We're wise to your game. The problem isn't actually with the man caves themselves. Oh, silly me. I would have thought that's exactly what you were saying. It is with the mindset that often comes with them. And as well as putting strain on relationships, it is just another barrier stopping men from communicating, he says. Well, maybe what we need is not to communicate and sit down and talk about our feelings and gush it out and then get left 2 weeks later because we're too emotional. Maybe, just maybe what we need is some time out. You know the thing you were saying that women should have earlier in the article, the time out? Maybe we just need some time out. Maybe we need some chill time. Maybe we just need to go to our nothing box. For those of you guys who haven't seen the nothing box, just type men, women, nothing box in YouTube, and you'll find a very fascinating video by a guy up on stage talking about how our minds work. We just need to go to our nothing box once in a while, right? Man, it's been a tough couple of weeks for me. So I actually had one day where I just sat down and I just jumped on my laptop. I've had my laptop since like December last year, gaming laptop. And I played a game on it for the first time in 6 months since I had it. Just a car game, just something mind numbing so that I could just chill out. You know what I mean? Just zen out, just not worry about anything, right? Take my mind off everything that was going on. So yeah, they're basically the strain that's putting on relationships is the strain that comes with women not getting their way and not being able to invade a man's space, right? Like dudes are putting combination locks on their man caves. You know what I'm saying? Like it's how it's got to be, right? You gotta make the rule, right? You gotta make the rule. There's more private groups being created and more private rooms being created on Discord than ever before, right? To keep these spaces male only. It's a very good point, Victor von Frankenstein. The idea of a solitary area for a man to sit in, do his hobbies, and ignore the rest of the world could be dangerous, as it reinforces society's ideas that men should not show emotion. No, we don't care. We just want solutions. If we have a problem, we want a solution. When we have a solution, right, we implement the solution, we fix the problem, and it's done. The emotion's gone. We don't have a headache anymore. It's only when a threat to that solution comes into play that we start to get stressed again. Because it's like, well, how am I going to mitigate this threat to my solution, this outcome? It's actually making me happier because I don't have the problem anymore. All right? It seems instead of a man cave, the answer lies in open communication, sharing essential household duties, and of course, both individuals enjoying some me time when needed. Yeah, both individuals getting some me time. The man cave is our place to get the me time without interruption. Like, my God, you needed the whole article to get to that last sentence? To completely contradict your own point? Wow, that looked kind of freaky, like. Something like that, whatever. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And to any of you guys that know someone that's had all of their space invaded, had their man cave wiped out, or that isn't allowed to have a man cave, or someone that has a man cave that keeps getting invaded, share this video with them. Share it on your social media. Share it with your friends. Make sure you give a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you like this video, hit the subscribe button in the low bar and also the bell next to it. So that you get the daily notifications. I also noticed that there's a couple of different modes for subscribing as well. I'm just going to find a random video here and share this with you so you know what I'm saying. Because I've had a lot of you mention that you've had some issues with subscriptions not popping up as notifications. Let me see. So I'm gonna, if we go to louder with Crowder, right? So let's go there, subscribe. And then it actually says, tap the bell to get notified about all new videos. You got to tap that bell next to it. And then when you've actually tapped it, right, it brings up a list. And it's got none, personalized, and all. So go to all. And you'll notice it's got like a little sort of like a little, almost like a little comma to either side of it. So make sure, guys, when you actually go down to where it's got the subscribe button, if the bell next to where it says subscribe doesn't have little marks to the side of it, it's just a bell by itself, make sure that you hit it again and bring up all, because that's probably why you're not getting all the notifications. Anyway, man, guys, if you do want to donate, and I appreciate those of you who do donate, thank you so much. paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW or patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW, subscribestar.com/SydneyMGTOW. Follow me on Twitter. I like to do a bit of baiting on there from time to time. And yeah, just keep an eye out for me on Minds and Gab and all those other platforms. I don't have a lot of time to post on them, but when I do, I try and make sure it's good content. I appreciate you all in advance. Thank you so much. I look forward to catching you in the next video. Peace.